We are live in the Empowered Mom Studios again, and I think it's time to get a little bit more nuance into that glass slipper method. What do you think? So when you're trying to attract the perfect clients or the perfect advocates for your brand, or even attract that perfect person that you want, like when you found the one, what you really want to do is what I call the glass slipper method. And the reason I call it the glass slipper method again is because Cinderella went to the ball, she danced with the prince, and then the prince found her shoe and brought it to her and she put her foot inside. So it's all about alignment, and you really want to be thinking about that because you don't want to be selling, because a lot of people really don't like that. However, people do like to buy. And they want to solve their problems. So you constantly have to recognize that people are out there and they're hurting. And they're getting a lot of bad advice. And they're still seeking solutions. And they can't find you if you don't put yourself out there. At the same time, you cannot be on only your own platform. Because then you're just on a little tiny soapbox and nobody's going to know where you are. Here's the problem though, is that you cannot scale until you actually know your ideal clients. You know, people get this wrong. They think if I'm just showing up that I'm going to get everything that I want. Or if I build it, they'll come to me. Or many other things, or they try to pitch too hard, or they try to sell, or they try to close too fast. And you don't want to do that. I mean, you can go back and watch some of my other videos on the glass slipper method on my YouTube channel if you really want to understand it. But what a lot of people do, and I see this quite often, like doulas and coaches and teachers and anybody who's got a program, they make the mistake of trying to lead as they're the expert. And I'm going to tell you right now, you need to put what you're selling on the shelf. If you see that perfect person that you really want to get into connection with, you need to also observe, who is this person and are they actually the one, or are they just like somebody that you were initially attracted to? And the more you get to know them, the more you're like, no, actually we could just be friends. So you really need to understand the baselines though. In order for the glass slipper to work, in order for the ecosystem to work, you need some key things. First of all, you have to have your heart involved. It has to be open. You have to have empathy. You also have to be able to see the traps that most people don't see that they're walking into and be able to warn them away from that without any shame, blame, or making them wrong. You need to know the language to use, which means that you have to have at least observed them, talked to them, gotten to know who they are to really see what's going to stick and what they're resonating with of your message. In order to create the perfect glass slipper, you have to do the work first, okay? You cannot just show up with any glass slipper and you can't just piece it together with haphazard things. When I started putting myself out there intentionally, it was after going through and doing the work of watching people, watching them make the same mistakes over and over, following the patterns. When I first fell in love with my true love, I was watching him. I was observing him. I'm like, is this still it? Like, is he for real? Yes, he is for real. Oh my gosh, he's like everything that I want. And is he paying attention to me? Yes, he was. When you see that, you see what's resonating with people. Then what you can do is you can start to take those pieces. The thing is that you can't just have a glass slipper. You need the ecosystem for them to come back to. And Instagram is really starting to piss me off, so I don't think I'm going to be able to do a very long masterclass on this. However, I think at this point, it's pretty much decided now. I'm going to go deeper into the glass slipper inside of my book. I may also create an additional ebook or maybe a mini training or something that will be added to the bonuses of the book or inside of my Empowered Birth, Empowered Mom Toolkit. You can check out what I'm really doing with this. You can join my newsletter if you really want to go deeper with this, because I spill out my Empowered Mom magic. And I put it out on Thursdays. I don't have a specific time. It's just I write on Thursdays. I do my stream of consciousness. I tell you what else I created. So these videos will probably be linked for my list to really see what I created this week. And then I'll also probably go deeper into one of the Empowered Mom magic insights that I have. So I do it for birth, and I also do it for motherhood. So if you're interested in that, if that resonates with you, you can join my list. All you have to do is put your name and email in for the Empowered Birth Toolkit. And then you're also going to get my series of workbooks. I'm going to be adding some more targeted stuff for just for moms now that would help them with the women's empowerment side, now that I also have my book coming out as No More Mommy Martyr. And it's quite possible I may even add a chapter or two inside of that actual container, because what I do is I'm very simple. So business is simple and we make it complicated. So I've basically taken a very complex structure and I've simplified it. And the glass slipper is part of the simplicity. And I mean, I wish I could get into this a lot deeper, and Instagram is doing that thing of cutting in and out. So in other videos, I'll talk more about this. It kind of ties into the art of pissing people off and the intentional ways that I've been putting out the threads. Go check my video earlier today where I was talking about the spiders, because that also ties in. Go check out some of my other videos about the glass slipper method to really understand it. And basically what I've done, I've created a miniature ecosystem inside of somebody else's content. So they had a viral reel that they had out there. I put a comment in 2 weeks ago. It's getting a lot of traction. People are commenting on it. There's some that are resonating with the message. There's others that are trying to tear me down. And it's just giving me the opportunity to continue to speak my message without getting defensive or anything. Just, it's like, oh, you're challenging me on this one. Okay, well, let me explain that part to you. Let me show you the nuances. And that in itself is a glass slipper, because now this is a visible comment on somebody else's viral video, which means that they're going to see that. And they're going to be like, who is this woman? She mentioned she has courses. She mentioned she has a book. She's not selling anything. And at the same time, I want to know more about her. So then they're going to go to this channel because I did it with my actual name. I didn't do it with my business channel. I did it with my actual name. So Carly Bondurant Official. So they're going to find the stuff here. And then they're going to be like, oh, she's got more than just birth stuff. And then they're going to go where they need to go. If they check the links in my bio, they're going to also find where to go with my website and where to go with my deep dive masterclasses. I have that choose your own adventure style. So the more you have in your ecosystem, and I mean, you continue to build your ecosystem. You can make it as big as you want. It allows you to scale without losing the heart of what you were originally building. And people can still go within the system without getting lost, without cannibalizing your market, without feeling like they're being pitched to the whole time. And this also allows you to just be very intentional. In order to get to those stages, though, you have to do that baseline work. You have to have coached people. You have to have had proven systems and results and things that you saw that other people typically don't see, to be able to say, look, I know what I'm talking about here. I have sat with people. I understand the language. I understand what they're struggling with. I'm telling you right now, this is a bigger issue than just what you're talking about. I'm telling you right now that this isn't just about your comment. This is about who's going to see your comment. This is about who's going to see my comments. This is an ecosystem here. You're not in a vacuum. You're not having a conversation with one person when you're online. You're not. The second you put yourself out in public, you're not having a conversation with one person. But the conversations need to happen behind closed doors first, for you to be able to speak your message in a bigger container and have it resonate. So, I mean, I sat there with my friends as they cried over their birth experiences, and they cried over motherhood, and they cried over a lot of things. And I lived it. I lived those experiences too. And the ones that I didn't live, I still witnessed them, and I held space for them. And I will even say, hey, I didn't have that experience personally happen to me. And my stuff that I did for me helped them with theirs so that they were able to transcend. So something I said helped them. It may help you. Here's what I said, and I don't hold anything back. That's really it. So that then they're like, oh, they pick up this glass slipper and they're like, what do I do with this glass slipper? Well, there's an ecosystem. But I built that ecosystem over time. That's the key. So you can't just build the glass slipper right at the beginning. It doesn't work. And you can't just build the glass slipper and expect it to work if you're not intentional with it. So in order for the glass slipper to work, you really do need to have that baseline. I mean, I have a book. That book wasn't just written just for fun. That book was written intentionally based on what I had done with my clients. My website, everything on my website, yeah, it's all free, awesome information. And it's very intentionally written based on what I've already uncovered by helping women over the last 10 years. Like, I did the work. And I did it for a very long time without any recognition. So I'm just going to let you know, if you want to know the glass slipper method, if you really want to understand it and you want to implement it, you have to do the work first. You have to know your prospect. You have to know the people that you are attracting. You have to know the people that tend to get pissed off, and you have to know what those triggers are, what sets them off, what makes them drop their masks. What is it that has them saying, oh my gosh, like, you are the one that I need to learn more about. Like, what were those words that you said to people? You need to know that. What were the stories that your clients had? What are the stories that your friends had that you helped? Like, people that you see in the mom groups, or wherever you're doing your work. The people that are out there that are going to need to know what mistakes they could be walking into, or what they're not seeing that you see. Because there's something you see that they don't see. And you need to be able to convey that to them. You can't keep that behind a paywall. In order for the glass slipper to work, you cannot be focused on the result of them paying you. That's not what we're doing here. We are aligning. We are actually getting somebody to pre-sell themselves on you and be like, you are the one. That's what we're doing. The ecosystem is the filtration so that if they were just looking for just anybody and they're not looking for you, that they can then decide which container they're going into. That's what it's for. And you need all of the pieces or it doesn't work. It doesn't work properly without all of the pieces. And in order to have all of the pieces, you need to be very intentional with it. So I'm just going to say, this is a very advanced level for scaling. And you're not going to see results right away. This is how you plant seeds for the future. This is how you build a solid foundation that you can scale from, that you can build on top of. That's not going to break down. That's not going to lose value. Like, this is high level. It's easy once you know your prospects, but if you don't know all that stuff, there's other things that you're going to want to do first. Okay? And if you want to know more about that, you can always reach out to me or just go to my YouTube channel, Carly Bondred Uncensored, and check out my playlists. I have it in Success Tips for Fairy Tales right now, where the glass slipper is. In the future, I will have specific just playlists that is just for the glass slipper method. And then eventually I will be doing a training on that. There's also an example of my EcoSystem. So you'll be able to see that as well. If you go to my channel, I didn't put it on Instagram. So it's on my YouTube channel and it's in Carly Bondred Teaches Awesome Stuff. That's the playlist you want to go to. And in that playlist, there is a webinar type thing. I just did a live stream and then I created like a little slide deck. And then I was speaking more in a teaching way and I did a demonstration on how my ecosystem works. I gave a smaller overview of it. And that was before I even put in the email sequence that I now have and my toolkit. And that's being recalibrated to encompass not just my first book, but also it will be able to attract with No More Mommy Martyr. So one thing, one ecosystem, multiple different content funnel YouTube channels, but they all funnel into that one thing. And then that makes it simple because they can go where they want. And they're still going to have the thing of information is free and charge for access to me. Because when you're coaching somebody, you're doing something customized. You need to understand that. It's customized. It's a custom results-based package based on the thing that they want most. My mentor, Evan Pagan, actually taught me this system where it's you take what they want. What do they want to achieve? What do they want to avoid? What's their next step? Can you help them? And if you can't, you lovingly direct them where they could get help or show them a resource. And if you can help them, then you're like, okay, I can coach you on this. I know enough about this that I could take you through this. So it's not one thing that you do. It's they want to work with you and you can help them get that they want. And you need to be aware of your specifications, of what you can do, like your specializations. I know my methods inside and out. I built them. I didn't take them from anybody else. I'm not copying and pasting. I know them inside and out. I have applied them. So if you want that, you have to be at the level that you can hold the glass slipper. If you're not, then you can follow some of my other stuff that I have on that channel as well. Because, you know, I've been doing this now for 5 years professionally. And before that, I had about 8 years as a birth advocate. And even before that, I was out there in the forums just putting value out there in the world in other ways. Like I was in fan communities. I was a fan fiction writer. I have just always been in that online space. And I know how to convey a message. And I know how to get into the comments with people. I mean, this is just something I just do. And my comments always get picked up and people will go back and forth. And now that I see that I have this other side, where before people would love my stuff, but they had nowhere to go. So what would happen is that I would make comments in the mom groups and they'd be like, well, where else can I learn? I didn't have a blog. So I was sending them to other people's stuff. They weren't with me. But if they'd wanted to learn with me, it's like, I don't have anything. It wasn't until my best friend was like, how do I take your classes? And I'm like, oh, this is like the 5th time that this has come up. And now I actually know how to create classes. Whereas before I didn't have the confidence. So that was data for me. And I was like, okay, I'm going to create a class. Now I have it as a free training. That's what you can do. But in order to attract them, and in order to use the whole method, it takes patience, it takes tenacity, it takes actually caring, it takes alignment, it takes being able to put yourself out there. Like, you got to be at that level, okay? So if you are at that level, though, if you are a queen and you've got an audience and you're like, how do I do the glass slipper? Come play in my world because I am happy to share that. Anyway, Instagram is really pissing me off with this whole cutting in and out thing, so I'm going to go work on my stuff some more. Go check out my YouTube channel, check out the playlist, check out the glass slipper method. I'm pretty sure I'm going to set up that playlist because of how many videos I've done on the glass slipper. It seems to be a very a valuable thing, and it's working for me. It's actually getting a lot of people to start checking out my channel. Like, they're like, whoa, wait a minute. Like, I'm getting a whole bunch of views on my Instagram. Like, how'd that happen? I'm getting random follows. How did that happen? And like, I'm finding new people to follow back. And I'm doing this in threads too. I'm doing this on Facebook. Not as much on Facebook anymore. And I'm still doing it on Facebook in the Facebook groups. So the way that this works, though, is that now you're in other people's containers and you're sharing that value. You're at the ball and you drop your shoe. Now they got to come into your world to find you. And when they find you, they've got a queen, right? Exactly. All right. So I love you. And if you want to know more about that, you know my love languages bug me. You can also just check out my channel. I will be sharing more on the glass slipper. It's coming out in No More Mommy Martyr. So I'm going to be writing that as well. And have a wonderful night. And I will see you soon. Namaste.